Hey y'all, welcome back to Katie on the Flip Side. I am finally filming my monitor review. We got a new monitor about a month and a half ago maybe, and so I've had plenty of time to use all the different features and everything, so wanted to talk to you guys about it because I get a lot of questions about what monitor we use, what we like about it and what we don't like about it. And we have been through, this is our fourth monitor now, so our previous three have had issues and we've had to get them replaced. So this one that we have now I'm really happy with. I'm going to tell you guys about it and compare it to some of the other ones. It's called, obviously it's not in the box right now because we've been using it for the past month and a half, but it is the Summer Dual View, and it comes with two cameras like this, and the other one is in Gaines' room because she is currently sleeping, but this is the camera that you put in the baby's room, and this is the monitor that you hold in your little hand and get to watch your baby sleep. As you can see, she is sleeping on there right now. For starters, it's just like any monitor. You put the base in the baby's room, take this other part with you. I really like that the cord, you can't really see it, I don't know exactly how long it is. This cord is quite long and the cords are interchangeable for the base and for the monitor. So the longer cord might actually be intended as the one to wire it in the baby's room, but I have been using it for the monitor base because it's nice to be able to have a longer distance to keep it plugged in if you need to by you at night or whenever you're watching the monitor. So once you plug it in the baby's room and safely mount it so it's not within their reach, this is the camera that you put in there, and it does rotate. I'm not gonna do it too much because it's supposed to, you're supposed to do it with the monitor. But it does rotate, it pans up and down, it pans back and forth. One thing that I didn't like about the design of this, as you can see, it's on a little stand. The one we had before was more of like a globe, and the one we had before was the Samsung Brilliant View, is our most recent monitor that we had. And so, for instance, in Gaines' room, we don't actually have it mounted on a wall, we have it on a shelf, and we have to tilt it down a little bit. And so the first night I was zooming around the room and it got top heavy and fell off. And obviously it was far enough away from her crib, it didn't, like, she didn't even really notice. But that kind of bothered me, that it makes me nervous every time I pan that it's gonna fall off. But it hasn't happened since then. We got it a little bit more secure. But the other one was just didn't have the tendency to get top heavy. That's really not a big deal, honestly. And if most people mount them on the wall or somewhere. All right, so on to the monitor portion, which is the part that really is the part that we would talk about the most. So on the top, you've got the power button, which is also a menu button. You have the button that turns the screen on and off, and then you have a button you can push to talk to the baby. And I really love that it has the talk option. I think a lot of monitors these days do. It seems to be a little bit better. The Brilliant View almost was a little like loud and raspy. This seems to be more accurate of your voice and not quite as scary of a sound coming in their room. As far as the video on off button on the top, that is one thing that is, I guess, a pro and a con about this monitor. If it's not plugged in, the screen does turn off after several seconds. I'm not really sure how long, sorry. Maybe 30 seconds or so. And with all the other monitors I've ever had, it stays on all the time, so I could just have it sitting on the table next to me and look over and know she's okay, or, you know, be able to see her. But it does conserve battery, and I've gotten used to it now. I just reach over and push the button. Now if it's plugged in, so like at night when I'm sleeping, the light or the screen will stay on the whole time, or you can turn it off, which is nice because the Samsung Brilliant View that we had did not have the option to turn the screen off, I don't believe, or I never did it if it did. The menu here gives you options for the brightness of the screen, and you can see I've got it turned all the way down and the brightness is great. The display is really good. Or for the different cameras. So this monitor does come with two of the bases. Like I said, one is in Gaines' room and then this one is here. So it comes with two, which we thought was great for anticipating the arrival of our second baby, to have both. So you can actually set it up to either rotate between cameras, to do a certain camera, or to add or remove cameras. So you can add up to 4 cameras on this device. You know, that leaves us some room to have some extra kids. But if you have 4 cameras on there, it will split the screen into 4 different little cubes, and you can see it the different ways. One thing I really love about this monitor, and I think is one of my favorite things that I haven't really even gotten to use yet, there is one single button on the side that you push to display both cameras at one time. I know a lot of monitors you have to go through several different buttons, several different options. This one you push one, you can scroll back and forth. So if you scroll over to this camera and then hit OK, it'll bring that camera big. but if you just scroll back and forth like this, it will just switch the audio so you can hear either audio. So I love how super easy that is just to go from one room to another. One thing about having the two cameras, and I'm honestly not sure how other dual monitors work that have two cameras in one, it does rotate back and forth between the sound. I believe it's 7 seconds in between. So that's something that I just thought when I first read about that, I thought, well, what if the other baby's been crying for 7 seconds and then it goes back? So it apparently just kind of switches the sound back and forth throughout the night, which could possibly be a problem if you have like a sound machine in one room and not in the other. It might kind of drive you crazy. It doesn't rotate the picture. You would have to go and individually select which picture, which room you want to see. Also on the side are volume buttons, self-explanatory, up and down. One thing about the volume that was mentioned in several reviews I read before you bought it is that it does not have a super quiet setting. So with the Samsung Brilliant View, on the lowest setting, we do have a sound machine running in Gaines' room. So on the lowest setting, it was kind of, I mean, you could hear her if you needed to, if she was crying, but it wasn't super loud in this one. So that's the sound. That's as quiet as it gets, which may not seem like that big of a deal now. It didn't seem like as big of a deal when I got it and just turned it on, you know, in regular daytime. But when I went to go to bed and I had it on and there was no other noise in the room, I was like, God, that is so loud and I can't turn it down. But luckily we like white noise, so it runs anyway and it doesn't bother us. So that's not too big of a deal, and it really doesn't bother me, other than the fact that like while I'm filming this video, I have to have it turned all the way down because I don't want it to be super loud. You can pan from side to side. You can go up and down. And then something I really like is that it's got one button in the middle that allows you to zoom in. So it actually zooms in twice, which I think is really awesome. It's a really great zoom. The picture on this also is a lot better during the daytime, but as far as for night vision and this being across the room from her, I mean, I can look in there and like look and find pacifiers. Right there, I believe is one. Look and find her blankets. I can see her face. I really like how much you can see with the picture on this, and I love the double zoom. So if you really need to get close in there, you can, and it's easy. You don't have to go through a lot of different buttons, which that was one thing with one of the Motorola monitors that we had before. You had to go through the menu to zoom in. So super simple to zoom in. In comparison to our Samsung Brilliant View, the night view on this is really great. We were very impressed with that, which one of the reasons we got rid of it is because the night vision started to decline after about, I think it would have been like 10 months maybe, and it started declining and then gradually got to where you literally could only see black. You couldn't see anything at all. So we are loving how well we can see everything on this. The other kind of external feature of this monitor is the kickstand on the back, and this sounds like a really minor thing, but it's really amazing. So the kickstand on our Samsung Brilliant View just came from the top, and it had one position. You could only sit it this certain direction. If you weren't on a completely flat surface, like if I'd put it on the couch arm or something like that, it would fall over. This one it's very tight, and so you can put it in this position. You can lean it back just a little bit if you're maybe like standing up getting ready and you have it on the counter, or you can put it all the way down. So I've loved the kickstand. It makes it super easy to use in lots of different locations without worrying about it falling over or falling off. As far as the battery life on this bad boy, there were some people I saw say the battery life wasn't excellent. I would love to know what monitor they were using before, because the battery is about 5 hours or so, and that's about equivalent to what our Samsung Brilliant View was. The first Motorola, which was I think the 36 that we had, was only about 3 to 4 hours, and this one definitely gets us through. I had it on all through her nap, and now it is on for nighttime, and it's only at 40%, so it's probably been about 3 hours, and I've got several more hours to go. So I think the battery life on this is definitely good. I mean, comparatively, you can only expect so much from a monitor, I think. One thing I do not like about the battery life is that it does die without warning. So granted, there's a little battery right there that if it gets down to 0% and turns red, you obviously know the battery's getting ready to die. But if I've got the monitor sitting in the kitchen and I'm in the den, I don't know that it's died, and so our old Motorola monitor, I believe, would beep before it would die. The Samsung Brilliant View, I don't believe it beeped either, so I'm not sure what's up with that, because I think that's something, or maybe say for example the plugs come unplugged in the middle of the night and it comes undone, you won't know the difference. One thing I was a little bummed about the display is it does not show the time or temperature. So it only shows you how strong your signal is and what the battery life is. Our Samsung Brilliant View didn't show the temperature either, but it did show the time, and I got kind of used to that. But I look at my phone now and it's not a big deal. I do kind of wish it had the temperature because especially when they're newborns, it's really important to have the temperature at an appropriate range in their room, which her room tends to get hotter or colder than our other rooms in the house. So just want to make sure that it's okay, but I guess we'll just kind of have to keep an eye on that without worrying about the monitor. Now this thing might sound really kind of nitpicky, but this is one thing that I've noticed that's one of those things that I'm like, oh, this drives me crazy, but it's not really that big of a deal and it doesn't have to do with the functionality. In order to turn the monitor off and on, you have to hold the power button down for about 7 seconds before it will fully go off, and also for it to turn back on. Like I pushed it as soon as I said turn back on, and it took that long to turn on. Not really a major thing, but it is kind of annoying if for some reason the monitor's off, you need to turn it on. I'm just used to being able to just push it and it come on. So that kind of bothers me a little bit. Not a big deal and not a deal breaker. Also add that the general display on this, I have the brightness at the lowest brightness, and it is a bright screen in the middle of the night when your room is completely dark. Not a big deal, again, because I just turn it face down and pick it up if I need to see her. But it is definitely brighter than the Samsung Brilliant View was and puts off a lot more light. When we were buying this monitor, we also considered the Summer Infant Sharp View Duo. And the reason we went with this one is it was a little bit less expensive, and I actually got to compare a little bit. I believe that's the monitor that Ellie and Missy both have, and they had theirs when we were on our winter vacay. I did love that the screen on theirs was a little bit bigger. I believe it showed the temperature. There were some different things I liked about it, but I will say that the one pro of this one that I thought I liked a lot better was that it does have the one button to switch between cameras, and with theirs you did have to go through several different menu options. But overall, you know, the picture on both is good and that kind of thing. Just wanted to mention that if you're considering that one. That was kind of a big thing for me, because if you're in the middle of the night trying to check on both babies, then it's easy just to be able to press one button. So that is it for this review of the Summer Dual View. I kind of compared it to our previous Samsung Brilliant View that we had, and a little bit to the previous Motorola models that we had as well. This has been the monitor we've been the most happy with, and we will definitely be keeping it and continuing to use it, and hopefully nothing will go wrong with this one since we've been through 3 others. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a comment below and let me know if there are any questions that you have, any things that I didn't cover about the monitor that I can clarify for you. Good luck with your baby monitor picking. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more videos on my channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye! It's the baby's name. So the baby's name is gonna be...
Stop, wait, this is live. I apologize for this. It's her first time on YouTube. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Can I tell you everything?